Hey everybody, welcome back to the journey with Jackie Griggs. I'm so happy that you all are here today. Today I have my father with me. We're going to be walking through fatherhood and we're going to be talking about his book, UnShaken Lessons from My Journey to Purpose. So I'm so excited to have my father Isaiah Marshall with me today. If you know me, you know I am a true daddy's girl. I'm like a mini Isaiah. So like our brains, I'm his mini brain. So I'm excited for this conversation today. Welcome, Father.
Hey, daughter.
Hey. So I want to first get into the book because there's a couple people that's pre-ordered it. Me, I've pre-ordered. I'm not sure. Have you been sending pre-orders out yet? Have anybody?
So, yes,
Okay.
I've sent the ebook version.
You sent the ebook version.
Yeah,
Okay.
but nobody's had the physical copy.
Nobody
yet.
has the physical copy. I feel special.
Yeah.
So no one's had the physical copy yet, but for sure have read the ebook, and I've gotten feedback myself. I don't know how much feedback you've gotten, but from people who've read the book, they've told me how good it was, and I've read it myself, and it is really good, and I can't wait to get into this conversation because I have a couple questions, because even though I grew up with you and I know you, it was some stuff in the book I was reading and I was like, oh, I didn't know that portion, or it's like I didn't realize what your thought process was behind how you were operating.
Yeah.
So I want to start by asking you, what made you write this book?
Great question. And as you know, I've always lived life private. I really hadn't shared about my life and the things that I've been through and how I've journeyed through life. I've kind of just trucked through life, right? And just went through it. But the Lord kind of laid it on my heart that my life is a testimony.
Absolutely.
And I shared it in bits and pieces, but this was an opportunity to be able to open up and share my life and also help other people to see and understand that whatever they may be going through, that there's, hope on the other side of that. And also, really, when I was going through my process with prostate cancer and things of that nature, it's like, you have to be able to have something in writing to be able to leave a legacy. Not only for your family, but other people as well, as it relates to your life story.
Absolutely. This book is full of legacy, learning how to leave a legacy. So I do want to get into that a little bit later. But let me ask you this. What was the hardest chapter, do you think, to write was?
That's a very good question. The portion, actually starting it. Because,
Okay.
I start with a dedication to my mom. And I didn't realize how, you just kind of put some stuff away and you don't truly deal with it. And so doing that portion of it and writing those, kind of going back, remembering some of that was kind of like therapy for me, because I
Really?
truly unpacked some stuff that I didn't realize that I never unpacked.
Oh, wow.
And so every time, and then, through this process, I got to go back and read multiple times, go back and make this change, make that change before you actually get to the final product. And so processing a lot of that, the last conversation she and I had and things that she told me, and just then now I'm going back, remembering like, oh, okay. So those are probably the most difficult chapters for
So
me.
you would say that it felt like going back, rereading, having to edit, it kind of was opening up more memories for you in that aspect. That's
absolutely.
interesting. I liked how also you explained Papa Smokey, which is your dad, in the book, and how just his leaving a legacy and his hard work, although it may may have looked different than yours did, I love how you still acknowledged it. Because I know when we were growing up, when we were younger, now your relationship with him is much better than it is. But I love how you explained and how you were able to acknowledge that even though our relationship wasn't great, now in my older years I can see where he was coming from, and that he was dealing with the same grief that I was dealing with, but he didn't know how to handle it. He was handling it in the best way that he can. And with that being said, I want to know, how did you get to the point where you were able to be like, okay, he was handling it the best way he can. This is what him leaving a legacy looked like. How did you get to that mindset of him? Because
I get what you're going. Where you're going is actually, just really taking a step back out of the situation,
Okay.
and processing it all and thinking about it. Because when he, like you said, our relationship, my probably 12 to mid 30s, really, it was a challenging relationship, and I take my responsibility on that on my end. I didn't make it easy
for him, yeah.
because like I said, and some other stuff, I was wilding out. I was I was kind of doing some stuff in the streets. I was doing all of that. So me thinking about me as a parent now, how challenging that could be for a parent, and not knowing how to navigate those things. And so as a parent, I started to look at it from that standpoint. Like, I can see how that could be a little challenging. And then also the stigma behind getting therapy, really dealing with mental health, and you just processing that. I was looking at it from that standpoint. He was processing it how he knew how to process it without the proper tools to be able to do that. Right. And so when I started to look at that, because, I got a background in mental health, and, from a spiritual standpoint, when I started to put all that together, I was like, okay, I could see where he was coming from, or what he may have been dealing with. Okay, so now what do I do as a son? Because, the Bible tells us the children honor your parents.
Correct.
And so what can I do to begin to honor and repair the relationship? Let me make the initiative to do that.
Okay.
And how do I, whatever reasons why I'm feeling unforgiveness or whatever that may be coming from, let me first figure out how to forgive in this situation, and then put forth the effort. And then that's how things begin to turn around for us.
Okay. Did you all ever have conversations? Because, of course, you have to figure out within yourself, how do I forgive but did you ever have conversations around with him about, this is how you felt and this is the space you were in after your mom died? Did you ever have conversations with him
So
about that?
we never really had a conversation.
Okay.
It was almost like it was unspoken. We didn't have like in-depth conversations.
So to this day, still?
To this day,
Okay.
still, we hadn't really had conversation. It was like, we kind of just moved on. Really didn't get into this how I'm feeling. But, we have had conversations about, how much him and my mom loved each other.
Okay.
How before, I didn't talk about this in the book, but I'll share this now. How before my mom committed suicide, they were actually in the process of trying to mend things and get back together.
Okay, so they weren't together at the time.
They weren't together.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they weren't
Okay.
together at the time. It was actually just my mom, me, and my sister.
Okay.
So they were separated.
Okay, I got you.
And so my mom had actually, she had ended up being in the hospital.
Okay.
And for a little bit, and she had just not been out the hospital not too long before she did that.
Okay.
From dealing with depression, she actually had a nervous breakdown. If I'm recalling correctly. So he was just telling me about all of that, and that probably was maybe like a year or two ago that he started telling me that.
Wow.
Talked about their wedding and all the situations they had been through. We joking and clowning at this point.
Yeah.
And so it kind of opened up some things, and he still, I believe, struggles with dealing with that and processing through all that as well. Yeah.
Okay. So if now y'all haven't had a conversation like that, how do you think the conversation, if y'all were to have that conversation, would be now? going into it as far as emotion wise? How do you think that you both are in the space? Because it's easy to say, yes, I can have this conversation right now. Do you think that y'all, until you get to that situation, right? So do you think that y'all are both in the space that y'all can have that conversation about, hey, whenever I was younger and this is how things were handled, this hurt me? Or for him to say the same thing to you, like, hey, I was by myself, like I was doing the best I could, this is all I knew. How do you think that conversation would go down?
Because now we can pretty much talk about anything. We just hadn't talked about that. We talk
and that's
about
so crazy that y'all
it's just
haven't...
nothing that I think what happened with that is that we're kind of like in that way is we've kind of dealt with it in our way, so we good moving forward. And I never thought about that until you just said it, because for a good time he was a single father. Trying to raise, because my sister was with him first.
Okay.
And then I ended up going. My sister, Danielle, who's 4 years younger than me.
Okay.
So she went first, and then I came after that. But for a good while, he was a single father trying to figure it out with us, before he got into other relationships. Then they had other women who kind of came into the fold. But yeah, I had never thought about that until you brought that up. He was a single father trying to figure this out. He was doing the best he could.
Dealing with grief.
Yep, dealing with grief.
It was a lot. He didn't know how to handle it, so
because he could have not taken on that responsibility at all. He like, man, I ain't, because a lot of people, I ain't going with that.
I got my own stuff going on. He could have handled it like that, but he didn't.
Yeah,
which shows his strength.
Yep.
For sure. So let me ask you this. You of course are father, you're my father. So what have you learned that you can say from him, from your experience growing up with your dad, just growing up in general, that you apply to fatherhood?
Yeah, so some of the things that I did kind of take from his situation and how he fathered, let me go there first, is that he, like I talk about in the book, his work ethic. I've always seen him work. I've never seen him not work. He was always going to try to make sure we had a roof over our head and things of that nature. Now, the things that I implement more is that I'm more emotionally available to y'all.
Okay.
And we really didn't have that. I'm more present when it comes to activities, like we always made sure me and your mom, if y'all had something going on, we made the sacrifice to make sure we were always there. Your mom kind of talked about why her reason and mine is similar, and so some of those foundation with church and having a good foundation biblically to make sure y'all had that. And then the type of education that I provided for y'all to be able to make sure y'all were equipped to be able to be good adults, which y'all are, and to be able to instill and be able to raise y'all kids. So those are some of the things that I did take from him, and then some things that I said, okay, these are some improvements that I want to make moving forward with a family when I raise them.
Okay. It's interesting that you say, because me and Mama have had conversations before. When you're a teenage girl, you be like, my parents are losing their minds. Like, I don't know what's wrong with him. He's mean. I'm not. Mama, you go ask him. Like, I'm not. I would always send Mama. She's like, Jackie, just go. No, I'm not going to talk to him because something's wrong with him. He's not, like, he is not rap tight. I'm not going. But Mama has explained to me on many different occasions, even if I was, your child. I was a child that you have to be like, Jackie, you have to present it in such a pretty package because for whatever reason I'm high strung. But she would say, Jackie, your dad you have to realize how he grew up, and he's doing what he knows he can, and he's doing great for y'all, but he's going based off of what he knows. So if you feel like, hey, he's not here for me in this aspect, like, it's not that he don't want to be like, or you don't feel like because whenever I was growing up, like, yes, you were emotionally available, but like I told Mama on the podcast with us, I don't feel like y'all were girl parents.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah,
I
yeah,
feel like y'all were, and I was the oldest too. So it's
Yep.
kind of like we rolling with the punches
Yeah,
here. Like
yeah,
we just trying to
we trying to figure it out.
figuring it out.
Yeah.
And knowing now, like I'm a parent, so it's kind of like this is my first day here. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, this is my
Yeah.
first day doing this.
And think about this. We were just figuring it out, and we was 23 years old.
Yeah.
So we were young.
Y'all were young. And you
We
know
were
what?
young.
Y'all were young.
Yeah.
Y'all were literally,
Yeah.
y'all were infants. Y'all were
Think about
babies.
it, yeah.
And that's so
Yeah.
crazy. But whenever you're in a position of the child, I'm not looking at it as like, my parents young. I'm looking at it as like, they should have this figured out.
Right.
But now that I'm in a position of like, I don't have this figured out. Now I understand. And I tell mama that all the time. I be like, I think I said that on our podcast too. Like, I know I probably don't say thank you as much or I understand as much, but I truly understand now where y'all were coming from. So as far as like when I said about not being girl parents, I don't know. I just felt like, I don't know. And I feel like that's why God blessed me with girls too, so that I can, what I feel like I was lacking in that aspect of being, because I don't know, maybe I feel like that because it was 2 boys. So I feel like maybe, so I felt outnumbered and it's like, what we doing? It got to be more like, okay, I don't know why.
That and you, because you would oftentimes express this, it was unfair.
Yeah, I would say that.
Yeah, because there were certain things that the boys were allowed to do that you wasn't allowed to do.
Yeah.
From a father's perspective.
Yeah.
Like, nah, we ain't doing that.
Yeah.
Why they can? And
Yeah.
so, and then it was, so I get where you're coming from. Like, we wasn't girl parents and things of that nature, because girls do take a different type of care,
Right. Yeah.
compassion, time, and sensitivity. Other than when you come in and like, okay, what it is, you want something? What you want? No, you want something. What you want?
And that's why I used to be like, Mama, don't talk to him because he's crazy. He's crazy, but I was Mama describes me as high strung, whatever. But I can probably. So I was. I think I was more sensitive than I let on. I think I'm still more sensitive than I let on. So like, as far as like me, you saying like with the boys, I would say like it's not fair. I'm still not to the point in my grown 29-year-old adult life that I'm like, I'd be like, okay, I get that. I'm not to the point yet where I understand like the boy girl thing. Cause I'm like, that's still not fair to me. I don't care. I'm still not to that point, but maybe because I don't have any little boys. I have girls, so I'm not to the point where I understand that aspect of it. But that was difficult for me growing up because I'm like, why? I want to do like I just.
So you can just go run around the corner.
Literally.
And you like, nah, ain't no supervision around there. I don't.
And now I get that aspect of it as like being a girl mom, because I'm like, boo, I need to make sure my eyes on you at all times. I get that point of it, but I'm still like, well, why eyes can't be on them too?
Right.
You see?
Yeah,
So I'm still working through that portion of it. So,
but now that I think about it, even more so in this time, everybody need eyes on.
Everyone needs eyes.
Everyone needs eyes.
In 2026 and going forward, people are. Everybody needs eyes.
Everybody needs eyes.
And I think people. You don't know what children are exposed to, even children. You don't know what children are exposed to, what people's intentions are, and I'm not even gonna let you have any leeway to try for me to be like, oh, I don't want to leave any room for wonder. Yeah, it's no wonder. Like we just gonna stick with this. So I fully 110% understand that portion of it, but I'm still a grown adult. And it's still not fair.
Yep.
I told Mama that too, but I'm going to get past it. Maybe.
No, you're not.
Probably not. Maybe. Probably not. I don't know. I don't even know how I would.
I don't see it.
Me either. Maybe. Maybe if I have a little boy, but that's probably not happening. So.
Yeah.
I'm probably
we shall see.
We're gonna see. But you know what's crazy? On the other end of it, Joe and Josh probably wouldn't even see it that way.
Because they figure, I'm sure, if you was to ask them, they especially in our relationship, they probably feel you get special treatment.
Probably so.
Yeah.
But Mama has said that.
Yeah.
Mama has said that I'll be like, I'll say, because I always do. I'll be like, yeah, because your boys is your favorites. And she'll be like, Jackie, they say that too. Now, I didn't know if she was just saying that to placate me and be like, girl, go ahead. But, but she would say that too. But she said, but that's our job for all of y'all to feel like, you're our favorite. I was like, okay, but I feel like them kids, it's something about them boys. And I don't know if it was because I was the oldest girl, and oldest girls are real motherly, and they feel like mother hen. So now I feel like they're milking it, and that's your favorite, and you listen to he lying, and you're listening to him lie and going, Jackie, why did you? And I be like, I didn't do nothing. Your children are liars. But you know what? Because Mama worked with us. And she was with us so much, she got the brunt of it. And then you'll come in the back end and I'll be like, don't listen.
Before you get
listen.
But tell you what.
Let me tell you before they let me get to you because I'm still like that.
Uh-huh.
Like, let me get to you before you get the whole story because let me tell you my side of it. Because I feel like first impressions is everything. So if I give you the first impression of it, now mine is the foundation story. And then the other ones, that's
you filtering through my story.
Yeah, absolutely. So now I win. I win. That's a sibling relationship.
That's a sibling relationship.
It's a sibling relationship for sure. But fatherhood, and I tell my mama, I tell anybody, I tell Corey, like, you were such a great father to us. And you set such a great foundation that we can learn from. And I do appreciate that all the time.
Thank you.
And I talk to mama sometimes. Before I run stuff past you, I want you to know. And you probably already know. I've done this my entire life. I run it past mama. I be like, how do you, because she's married to you.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm your child, but she's your wife. So she's going to know. And I be like, how you think? If I say it like this, how do you think he's going to take it? Because my whole thing is always, I don't want when I bring stuff to you, I don't want you to, because we have the same brain. We think the same. I be like, I don't want him to take it personal, or I don't want him to feel like the things that I'm doing. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, well, probably because, I don't know, but your perception and has such a big impact on my life. So, like, I just want to make sure, like, okay, we're doing this right? And I've also learned to, whenever I bring stuff to you, like, to have all the answers before, because you're going to ask 15,000 questions. Sometimes I'll be like, I don't even feel like bringing that to him because he's going to ask me 15,000 questions and I only have like 13 answers and I don't. So I've learned to, before I bring stuff to you.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you what that's about.
Yes.
That, for me, has always to be able to help y'all with critical thinking skills.
It's helped.
Is to let me think through this scenario, And so when you have to make decisions outside of me, you know how to process that. And a lot of people don't know how to process.
That is true.
To get to solutions. So I said, so I've trained y'all without saying I'm training you that way. So okay, let me think this through before I bring it to him. Because I know we're going to have a dialogue about this before he say yes. And 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a yes, but there's going to be some conversation before the yes.
Yeah, and that's crazy that you say that. We literally just had a conflict resolution training at my job yesterday. And so we took a test that shows us how we solve things, how we handle stuff in the workplace. And my top one was problem solving. But my mama always says when I come to her, or she'll tell me something, and I have those same questions that she be like, Jackie, you and your daddy with all these questions. I'm like, why didn't you ask that?
Right.
Why didn't you ask that? She's like, I don't know. I don't think like y'all. And she be over it. Like,
quick.
But
quick.
She be over it. But that's where I get that from, because you literally have drilled it into us. Ask these questions, because I need to know, like, okay, well, from this, do I need to do that? Or for me to be like, actually, no, we're not going to do that, because that don't even make sense. The stuff not getting put together. But I like how you said that because I'm gonna tell you because I highlighted it.
Okay.
The name of the leading with legacy in mind. I really like that chapter, and that's a chapter I feel like any leader would need to read. And I brought that chapter up because you said how you trained us, and how you were teaching us without us knowing. Mm-hmm. So in that chapter, you said you spoke about leading with legacy in mind and how to do that. And that was one of my questions for you, because how do you get to the point where you leading with legacy in mind? Like you said about, it's not about you, but about your team. But how do you get to that point? What would you tell people? Okay, you're leading a team, but how do you lead with, okay, this is the legacy that whenever I'm going, this is what you need to be able to do. It's not about me. It's about the longevity of this thing. So how would you explain that to people?
So I'll answer it this way. Excuse me. Initially, business for me and opportunities was to be able to build, resources and things of that nature to make sure I had a comfortable lifestyle and y'all were able to have a comfortable lifestyle and be able to provide the things that was needed for y'all. Mm-hmm. But as I begin to, I'm probably 30 years into doing business. Okay. And then your mind begin to shift that, okay, beyond this, how does this translate into something for not only my family, but other people's family to be able to come behind me and have opportunities? So that shifted me from being people-based, and what I mean by that, people-based is it takes my time to generate revenue, to shifting my mind to being asset-based. What that means is what product or service outside of my time that can generate revenue, and build systems around that. Now that's a legacy. Okay. That means if anybody we can train to plug in to that. For instance, that's why you have Marshall Matters. Marshall House Studios. Okay. And we have we got your platform, right? We got a platform that's coming with Josiah and Corey and everybody else. So now that's a legacy play that was built to be able to, now everybody can have a component. We got the grandchildren. Yeah. Can plug into this ecosystem. Gotcha. That I built. So now when I talk to leaders and tell them, don't think about it from a career standpoint. Don't think about it from a money standpoint. When you're thinking about legacy, what can I now build that can exist beyond me? And it's not just about me. It's about what type of partners can help to come with this. So for instance, even with, what we have in Marshall House Studios, we got partners who help us with the production. Then as this grows, how it's going to grow, then that's going to help impact their family and all ancillary businesses that's connected to this. So that's when I talk about a legacy play. How do you build something that's beyond you?
That's good. Yeah. This is what I like so much about this book, because it's not just talking about fatherhood or just your journey by itself. It's talking about it gives advice for people who may have businesses, people who are not just fathers but parents in general. So that's why I really encourage people to read the book, because it's a all around wholesome, like you can learn so much from it, and it gives you in here it has prompts to make you think, which you just said, this is how you train. This is how you trained us without even, knowing us, without us knowing you was training us. So it gives you prompts, and it gives you like ways to think about things and to reflect into yourself. And I'm really big on like reflecting and how can I shift and how can I make myself better in that aspect. Well, this is what I'll do. I want you to, I know it's in the book a little bit, but I do want you to walk through your journey a little bit, because we are on the journey with Jackie Griggs. So I want you to walk through your journey and tell everybody a little bit about your journey, because I do want people to read this book, but I want them to have a a background when they're reading. So when they're reading, they can say, hey, okay, Isaiah Marshall came from this, and this is where he's at now, so that they can be able to build on that and know that they can do it too.
Yeah, perfect. So we just start from the beginning. So I'm from New Orleans. Kind of hopped around in New Orleans. I stayed in Kenner. I stayed Jefferson Parish. I stayed. For some who may or may not know, I stayed uptown, which is in the 17th ward. That's called Holly Grove. Okay. Then for most of my childhood, it was me and my mom and my dad initially. Mom and dad separated, and it just ended up being my sister, me and my mom. Then when I was about 12 years old, that's when my mom committed suicide. For a good maybe 3 years, I stayed with my grandparents before I moved with my dad at about 15. Now, from an education standpoint, from kindergarten to 8th grade, I was actually, I went to St. John of Arc, which is a Catholic school, which why when it was decision to get y'all educated, private school was important to me to do that because I was exposed to that. Okay. So really I was always pretty advanced from an education standpoint. Just my mom, education was real big for her. So I was always, pretty smart. Didn't really realize it until later on in life, but I was always been a quick study. So my grandfather was the one who made sure the grandchildren went to church. So that's where that comes from, my grandpa Euless. And then all of the cousins, even though I didn't have a lot of siblings, but us cousins, we always end up by my grandma's house, my grandma Irma, that's my mom's mom. Okay. We would always go over there. And so it's like we're all like siblings. And if you notice, even in our grown ages, if we ever come together, it's always like brothers and sisters. Yeah. Even if we hadn't seen each other in years, but when we come together, that's how we have.
Literally, it's like no time
at all. And so we had a big family on my mom's side, but a smaller family on my dad's side. Okay. And so it was just him and his brother. He had a brother who died when I was young, and my grandma Shirley and Grandpa Ralph on that side. So I played sports. So when I was younger, I ran track. I played football, and I played basketball. Actually, I was pretty decent in football. I was tailback, cornerback, punt returner. So I did all of that. And actually, I tell you how life shifts for you. So actually, the playground, I played for Delta Playground, and that playground actually was a feeder into Rummel High School. Okay. All of the running backs that Rummel had, which was a private school if I'm not mistaken, but it was a pretty decent high school in New Orleans. All of the running backs who actually end up starting for Rummel High School, Delta Playground was a feeder for it. Okay. So I was the starting running back. So that was my track to go to Rummel. Okay. And so right when I was 12 years old, probably like 7th, 8th grade. So that's when my mom committed suicide right before that.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that changed the trajectory as it relates to sports.
Okay.
So much so that means it moved me from where we were staying.
Because you had to move with your grandparents.
I had to move with my grandparents. So initially I would ride my bike still to practice. That's how, and then it kind of just hit me, and I stopped going. Then the coaches would come in, just how good I was. Coaches would come pick me up to go, and then it got to the point like, man, I'm done with that. Yeah. So that's where the sports thing kind of just got. I stepped away from. I didn't play any sports up until that point. Then I hopped around a little bit. So I'm 12. Then I went to John Curtis for a little bit, my ninth grade year. So I'm fast forwarding. My ninth grade year, I'm still with my grandma. That's when I'm 15. So I went to Rummel High School for John Curtis for a little bit. John Curtis was a popular football team. So I was over there for a little bit, played basketball. This was the beginning. Then my sister was with my dad.
Okay.
And she was wanting me to come with her. Mm-hmm. So I actually left there. I left John Curtis to go stay with my dad.
So you're at another school at this point?
Now I'm at Riverdale.
Okay.
Now I'm at public school, so now I'm jumping. I went from private school to public school.
So let me ask you this: Is this your first time being at public school,
First
going
time
to
being in
Riverdale?
public school,
Okay,
yeah.
okay,
First
go
time
ahead.
being in public school.
Okay,
First
and
time.
this is 10th grade.
This is ninth grade.
Ninth grade.
Still ninth
Up
grade.
until elementary, middle school.
I've been in private school.
Been in private school. Okay,
Yeah,
and that's a shift.
That's a shift.
Okay,
so
go ahead.
I go to stay with my dad, with my little sister. During that time, my grandmother passes.
Okay.
Story about that is I hadn't seen her in a little bit, and she was in the hospital.
Okay.
And she kept calling for me. And everybody had seen her. And it was like she held on until she saw me. It was after I went and saw her, not long after that, she passed.
This your mom's mom?
This my mom's mom, who I'd stayed with.
Okay.
So that impacted me, which is now I shut down on, man, I ain't really gonna love nobody again.
Because you done lost your mom, you done lost your grandma who you were
Right,
staying with.
and I don't like how that feels.
Yeah.
So that impacted me emotionally and how emotionally I'm available to people. Because now I put that wall up. I ain't let nobody else get that close.
Yeah.
So now as I walk through life, I got this
Wow.
wall. So I get to Riverdale. It's either my freshman year or my sophomore year. So now I'm experimenting. I'm kind of, I'm out and doing, just lost identity, things of that nature. So when I'm at Riverdale, I get in some trouble. I'm trying to figure out what I got in trouble for. I might have took somebody's books at something like that, something stupid. I got no, they didn't get me for that.
Okay.
They didn't get me for that.
So wait, you done took the backpack, but they ain't know you took.
Nah, I'm gonna tell a story.
Okay.
They didn't get me for that.
Okay. So
we used to have this clash where we would have issues with. It probably was like a Hispanic group, and kind of where we stayed, there would just be some issues.
Okay.
So I was never one to be able to talk about situations, but just to kind of paint a picture, right up from our high school, it used to be a Tasty Donuts. And we used to kind of meet there for breakfast, get some, and come. So I had an issue that morning, and I had a fight. Knock old boy out, and so we get to school. So I used to have two lunches. I had the first lunch and the second lunch.
Well, how you got both lunch? Okay.
I was skipping class.
Okay, anyway.
To the
Okay, go
first
ahead.
lunch, and then,
So you had no business up in the people lunch.
I did.
Okay,
I had two.
Okay. Mind you, they didn't schedule you two lunch.
Nah.
You just had two lunch. Okay, go ahead.
Lunches.
Go ahead.
That's my journey. My official lunch was the second lunch.
So you and your two lunches.
Yes,
Okay.
on my two lunches. So on my unofficial lunch, which was the first lunch, I got into it with somebody, and I hit him, split his jaw, knocked him out. So much so, I get to the office.
Okay.
They call the sheriff's office. It's just that bad. They call the people parents and all that. So I get kicked out of school. By this time, I'm staying with my uncle Joni.
Okay.
My daddy's brother. So I called him. I like, look, because I was about to call my dad. I like, look, I done got put out of school, but they need somebody to come get me. You come get me.
How old were you at this point?
So I had to be. I'm 15, 16.
Okay.
That's why I'm trying to realize if I'm in. I had to be in ninth grade. I had to be in ninth grade. Had to be my second semester ninth grade, something like that.
Okay.
Because then I'm out of school for a little bit. Then they let you got to have a hearing if you're not for sure about this situation. You got to go to hearing for them to make sure you can come to school and all that. And I'd already had some other little situations, right, prior to that I ain't gonna really get into. Mm-hmm. They let me back in school. Now, when they let me back in school is when I'm dumb, right? Mm-hmm. I'd hit the book set. I'm walking around the same day. I got the book set on.
Okay.
And the person who I took the book set from went and told I had the book set.
So let me back up a little bit. So you're back in school at this point after the hearing.
After the hearing. So I was suspended.
You were suspended.
After that time, they let me back in.
They let you back in?
Yeah, I'm on probation.
Okay. While you were on probation, this is your first, when you just not getting back in school, you've taken the backpack, right?
Yeah, I'd already had the book.
Oh, before you suspended. You already took, okay.
They didn't catch me for it.
So you done came back.
After
you done got in trouble. After you got in trouble.
Yeah.
With said backpack. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. We caught up. Okay.
Yeah, so it was like, we letting you in, but you can't do anything else. If you do anything else, then you're not going to be able to come back to school in the parish. Right?
The entire parish.
The entire parish.
Okay.
Right?
Gotcha.
Because I was just into that much stuff.
Okay.
So the same day I come back to school, the very same day, just dumb. The very same day, I got, you would think the people told me, no, I can't get in trouble. Mm-hmm. I got the book set on. Walking.
Biggity.
Just biggity. Big shot.
Yeah, that's
my nickname. Big
let
shot.
Me say, y'all, if for those of you who don't know, he's saying Big Shot. This is his nickname in New Orleans. Yeah. That's what he was known by Big Shot. How did okay? We'll get into that because I want to know how you got that nickname. So go ahead and.
So I'm walking, and I get somebody called me to the office, asked me about the book set. Of course, I'm lying. It's mine.
Right.
I took it. It's mine.
I mean,
it's mine.
It's in my possession.
Yeah, it's in my possession. It's like, JanSport. So those who go back will understand the value of having a JanSport book set.
Okay.
Those who some of the old heads will understand that. So that's the type of book set it was. And so, long story short, they sent me up out of there. I couldn't go back to school. So at that time, they didn't call anybody. They just told me I couldn't go.
Okay.
So for a good little while, maybe like 2 weeks, I was getting up playing like I was going to school.
So wait, no one knew that you were out. They just was like, you gotta go. First day back, all right, go ahead, get up out here for me. And now you was just going to play like you was at school. No one knew. Okay.
Nobody knew for a minute. Okay. I don't know how it ended up coming to light, but it came to light that I wasn't in school, and they had to figure out, what to do with me. Mm-hmm. So that's how I ended up going to Fauché in Orleans Parish, because I couldn't go to school in Jefferson Parish, but I could go to school in Orleans Parish.
Okay. So you're kicked out of Jefferson.
Yeah, so this had to be my 10th grade year.
Okay.
So, but prior to me being able to get back in school, my mom's family always had a construction company. Okay. So during that stint out of school, I had to end up working construction.
Okay.
Right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
okay.
I ended up working construction. Man, that was brutal. Brutal.
You wasn't going to school. You might well get out there and work.
Yeah, yes. So here's what started to make my mind. Now I'm starting to dibble and dabble too in the streets.
Okay.
Doing that thing. But here's what kind of started to shift my perspective about work and things of that nature. So I had older people, because one of my uncles, my Uncle Donald, who had did some time in Angola, he would hire people who were returning home from prison. Okay. So a lot of the people who I was working around were those type of individuals.
Gotcha. Okay.
And they were a little older. And they're looking at me, I'm 15, 16. I'm supposed to be in school. Like, man, what you doing out here? So I run it to them, and they'd be like, let me tell you this, young blood. That's how they used to talk to me. You need to figure out how to use your brain and not your back. Because you don't want to be out here like us. Okay. The light bulb went off. You right, brother, because I do not want to do
I
this for the rest of
cannot
my
be
life.
doing this.
This manual labor is not made for me. I'm
is
not
not
made
my
for
ministry.
it. Not my ministry at all. You right. I need to figure out how to use my brain. So when I got back into school, remember, I've always been book smart. That's never been an issue. Just, like a couple of things happened in life that got me off. So when I got back into school, I started taking books a little serious. And because I had a Catholic school foundation, when I got in public school, I was more advanced than everybody.
Okay.
Right? And so I still was dibbling and dabbling what I had going on in the streets during that time. So I'm 10th grade at Fauché. Track coach tried to get me to run track. I did that for a little bit till one of our first meets. And it was over with for me after that. I still was part of the track team. I just wasn't doing more events. Because
your name's still on the roster.
I am still.
So
I'm still going.
I'm
still going to the meets. I'm still when the track team check out, I'm checking out. I got all the perks.
You just wasn't running.
I just wasn't competing. No. Here's what happened. As you see, I've always made up my own rules.
Literally, like, how were you? How them people kept on letting you come with them? Okay.
Yeah.
You know what?
So let me pause that story. And so my first day, I'm gonna pause, go back, and then I'm gonna come back here. So my first day going to Fauché was Fauché had metal detectors.
Okay.
And they had wands.
Y'all ain't finna come up in here with
Right.
no foolishness.
Now think about the environment I came. Even when I was at Jefferson Parish, it was a pretty mixed school.
Okay.
We didn't have all of this is what I'm talking about.
Gotcha.
We didn't have all this.
Okay.
Right? So just from a shock value.
Yes.
Stepping into this.
This is way new.
This is way, way new to
Okay.
me. Then my first day there, I see a fight. Now the fight is not boys, it's girls, and it's this one girl beating another girl with a garbage can. I'm like, man, what I done got myself into?
Take it down.
Yeah, I done got transferred to a mini jail around this month.
For real.
What?
So you went from Catholic school to Jefferson Parish School. So they were pretty mixed. Now you in the hood.
I'm in the hood.
Like, they don't play.
No, the hood where you got to raise the windows because we ain't got no AC.
Oh, yeah.
We sharing books around this mug.
Okay.
It's
Hood. Okay.
So you got to survive around here. You got to survive around here. A little deeper in, I'm going to come back to the track story, but a little deeper in, just wanted to set the environment of the high school that I was in. I saw a shootout in the courtyard.
Of the school?
Wait
a minute. What? Didn't they have metal detectors?
Again. They broke through the fence.
Oh, they meant they was gonna have that shootout.
So this is the environment that now.
Okay, so this is new. This is complete shell shock.
Okay.
Like, what I mean?
Right. So I want to paint that picture of what I'm into now from high school. This high school.
Okay.
High school I graduated in 91, so this had to be like 88, 1988.
Okay.
Right? And then keep in mind, New Orleans is the murder capital.
Oh, yeah.
At this time as well.
My
so
Lord.
I got all this going on.
Okay.
So get to the track situation. The meet it's a relay meet, right? Well, no, it's not. Yeah, it is relay. It's relay. So it's the relay where you got the 100, 200, 400, 800. I'm on the 800, not knowing what that's about.
Correct. That's 2 laps.
That's 2 laps.
So you got to run a 200.
You got to, right. So, I break out full speed.
You got a lot to go.
Got a lot to go. By the time I come around that one of them last little corners, after the first lap, I saw a tree. We was running at Tulane University. I'll never forget this. I saw a tree. I ran off the track and under the tree. And never ran again.
But you were still on the track team.
Still on the track team.
It's them people letting you continue to come.
Right.
It's just the
Right.
authority. Like, you've always just had that kind of authority, though. Just like, I'm coming, I ain't gonna do it, though.
Yeah, I ain't gonna do it.
And then they got somebody else to run.
Right.
And they just let you. What were you doing?
Just chilling. We go out of town. I'm just chilling.
And they let you do. Well, you did explain the school.
Right.
So I mean, okay.
Right. And I really think the coach saw, okay, he looked bright. Let me try to make sure he don't get caught up.
Yeah, that's smart.
I really think that's most of what it was about. Because I knew his brothers and you know, things of that nature.
That's smart.
My best friend, Rob.
Oh, he went to that school too?
Yeah.
I didn't know
That's where we actually met. We met at Fauché. That's where we met. He's one of the first friends that kind of formed. Okay. So that was that environment. That's actually where I got a little taste of a little bit more into business. Even though my family was in business, I end up, it was called distributive education, something like that, I think, D. The only reason I got into that, if you do that, then you get out of school early and go to work. So I was a part of that.
Okay.
And now that I sit and think about, man, I've always just been maneuvering stuff. So in that class, to graduate, you had to write a business plan.
Really?
Right.
Okay.
I ain't write no business plan.
Okay.
I ain't write the business plan.
Did you get out the class?
I got out the class.
Okay.
Somebody else's business plan didn't make it. Somebody else might didn't graduate, but I did.
Good luck to them. Hope they doing okay.
In my journey, I'm just telling you, I'm always.
Okay.
I'm always. Yes.
Okay.
So I got out.
That's good.
I got out. I did. I'm a fast forward, then I'm a jump back.
Okay.
My DE instructor. This time I'm in my adult life, but I'm still coming back to high school because I don't want to miss this. That's why I'm gonna say it here. His name was Mr. Brown.
Okay.
When Katrina happened, Mr. Brown actually ended up being in Baton Rouge looking for a job. Came, and it was a national emergency grant where we were hiring people who had been displaced from the flood, and I was managing this grant. Coming to the office, and I end up hiring him. Really? When I was working with the city. Full circle moment.
That is
in life,
circle.
right? You know, so God has always just did some things. So in high school, doing my thing. So let's fast forward. I graduated out of high school. Even once I graduated high school, trying to figure out what to do, I'm always playing in the streets. Now I'm a little bit more advanced in the streets. I got a whole lot going on in the streets. So I'm probably 19, maybe at this time, and I'm involved in a whole lot of stuff. And I'm committed, and I'm okay with that lifestyle, right? I have no problem with being a thug for life, just being honest, being a gangster. I was cool with being a gangster. Yeah. It was good, but I was always in my mind a smart gangster. You say, well, how you say that? So I would never want to be the drug dealer on the corner selling drugs. Okay. Where you could say, man, how you got all this money? So I always worked. I always had a job.
Yeah.
But I always was moving too. Cause I done got stopped. When I done got stopped, I have 2-3 uncashed checks. So if I got a bunch of money, it's like, man, I work for a living. Yeah. I work for a living, right? So I had all of those situations. So all that stuff seems to be going well, right? I'm a fast forward a little bit. Had a situation where I got robbed. Let me walk through this story. How I won't walk through this story. Yeah. So I got robbed. I did get robbed. And then let's say I was told who robbed me. Okay. Then there was another situation that occurred from that situation. And so it just made me begin to kind of wake up so what I can say about the situation is after the situation happened, We got pulled over, got pressed by the police. Just a whole lot of situations happened with that. It started to make me, wake up a little bit.
Right.
So much so, this is like right before I come to Baton Rouge permanently. I had the police officer pull me over one time. Actually, I got to the house, and they pull up by the house, put me in the back of the car, and they told me, that's what they told me. They said, we know what you're doing, we just can't catch you. So of course it's like, okay, I got it. Okay, I hear you. But that didn't really stop me from moving, moving how I was moving. So fast forward, me and your mom, we started dating because we got married at 23. So about 21 we hadn't met, but I'm hot and heavy. It's just at 21, it's real hot and heavy. So
Before
much so.
Before you finish that,
yeah,
I want everyone to know, as he's saying this, as he's telling this story, him and my mom are together, but she has no idea about any of this, like as in the midst of it.
Yeah, so let me
yeah, go ahead.
I get one of those stories.
Yes.
So we dating. We dating.
This is how good you were at just covering.
Just covering.
Yeah.
So again, I said I always worked. So me and your mom met when I was coaching Special Olympics.
Okay,
and she was in Special Olympics, with someone as well, right? So they would have their meet in Alexandria, and they would have a dance for those participants who were in the Special Olympics. Yeah. I always jokingly tell your mama I saved her from a prisoner, trustee, because she was over there talking to the trustee.
And that could have been your life.
That could have been your life.
Did you know it was a trustee?
He had uniform on, I hope, but I don't know. She was over there chatting him up.
She's so friendly and
so
sweet.
Friendly and sweet. I said, let me go over here and save her.
Jesus, help her.
So I went over there, started having a conversation with her. We talking. We hit it off. And so me being me, we in Alexandria. She from Baton Rouge. I'm from New Orleans. Like, look, I ain't got nothing to do. Let me see if she gonna let me get something tonight. I'm just
we're not gonna see.
We ain't gonna see each other no more.
Right.
And that's what impressed me about it. Oh yeah, you can come. You can come over. And we sat right outside her hotel door for hours talking. I'm like,
really?
Man, so I ain't never had this one before. So, then we end up writing each other. And so she had people in New Orleans. So I would come to Baton Rouge sometime and she would come to New Orleans sometime. So when she would come to New Orleans, we would always just ride around. We would never stay anywhere too long because I never wanted to be in any place too long.
Correct.
So we would go and, eat, and then I keep it moving.
Yeah.
My one of the places I used to hang, because my stepsister stayed there, Trina, in the Lafitte Projects. So the very first time I took your mom to the Lafitte Projects, when she came back and she shared it with your Uncle Andy, who's her brother, she said, me and Isaiah was in some big old projects. Some big old apartments. And her brother telling her, you was in the projects, fool.
Yeah. Just lost the soul. Just in love and having fun.
Yeah, just in love and having fun. So she had no clue or even a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And it was her brother, who told her, who said, Isaiah did drugs, don't you?
Yes. She had no idea.
No idea. She was like, for real, how you know?
I love her.
So
Please keep in mind, she's the same person.
She's the same person. Same person. So she was clueless. And I think that's what, opposites truly attract in that situation. So I'm 20, probably 20, and I'm starting to spend a little bit more time in Baton Rouge. So what I would do is on a Thursday or Friday, I would leave and come and stay in New Orleans. Come in Baton Rouge because this was my duck off. I can do everything I was doing, leave a Friday, and come back maybe a Monday.
Okay.
So I would duck off for 2-3 days. I'm in Baton Rouge doing what I'm doing. Then it got to the point where something had happened one time. Me and my best friend Marvin, that was my boy, end up driving to Baton Rouge like 3:00 in the morning. And your mom said, she said, I knew something was wrong because you were just professing your love to me, how much you love me, and this, that, and the third. She said, I ain't asked you, but I knew something was up because that just wasn't you. So things was kind of heating up for me during that time.
Yeah.
Then I end up moving to Baton Rouge. Me and my cousin Euless end up moving here and playing games like you. I think I can play games with everybody else. I'm playing games with God at this point. I got word that some people was wanting to do some stuff, and I had some money in the street, and I was like, okay, I'm about to leave this alone. I ain't gonna, Lord, if you do X, Y, and Z, I ain't going back to New Orleans, right? I ain't say I was gonna send somebody back to New Orleans for me because I need to get the rest of this money. I've always been just thinking I'm finagling, running game, right? So I sent him to go and get what I needed. They wouldn't give it to him. So I gotta come. I said, all right. So I commenced to doing the steps to have to go. I used to always rent cars. I never had an issue with renting cars. But this particular time, I got an issue with renting the cars. People ain't want to give me the car. Then they finally give me the car. I'm going to tell you, Mom, it's me and my cousin Euless. I'm going to tell you, Mom, I'm about to go to New Orleans and I'm going to be back. I locked the keys in the car with the car running. Think I would pay attention. I paid a crackhead to get in the car.
Sorry.
Yeah, I did. Paid a crackhead that got me in the car. By this time, it's kind of getting dark. And so we catch a flat in Perryville. And I go to try to change the tire, but the lug nut didn't fit. At that point, I was like, okay, this is not, okay, Lord, I see. I got it.
You had 4 signs at
4
this
signs,
point.
and I'm not paying attention. My cousin Hughes was like, man, we can just go jump the fence and knock on the people's door. I'm like, bruh, I got 2 goals in my mouth. You got a mouthful of goals. We got a white T-shirt on and some jeans. We going to jail or we going to die. One or two.
One of the 2.
I'm not about to do that.
Yeah.
So I saw a payphone not too far. Walk to the payphone gas station. Call your mama. And like, y'all need to come get me. So he actually popped her truck.
Okay.
Came and picked us up. And from that moment, it had been probably 5 years since I had been back to New Orleans.
Really?
That's when that was one of the turning points in my life. Not long after, your mom was going to church right next door to us. And so she had been asking me to come to church. I'm like, man, let me go ahead so she can leave me alone. That's what I thought, but it was just a setup from God as we continue to talk about my journey. Fair. Right? So before I go there, we got married. No, this was before I got married. Now to think about it, yeah. So I'm on time. So she started asking me to come. I ended up going. He set me up, and this is where Pastor L.C. Banks, how he got my attention, and actually was a Bible study that I went to. First thing, and he's old military guy, Air Force. So when he preached, he would pace back and forward. I could see it. And what caught my attention was he said, "You want a BMW? I can show you how to get a BMW." Oh, what?
Nah, cause I kind of want a BMW.
I want a BMW. Yeah. You talking my talk? What you got there, buddy? I'm locked in now. I'm locked in. And it wasn't from that moment God had me. From that moment God had me. Because when I believe what I believe, I'm committed to what I'm believing in. I'm loyal to what I'm loyal to. And so from that moment, started getting committed to church. We end up getting married. He actually married us. I become his assistant pastor. The house we stayed in on Brady was where was one of the first, church houses that we had. Just kind of, we started having family. Just kind of walked through all that. Fast forward through that. Then I end up being senior pastor of the church. I end up being a government executive. I served under 3 administrations. And all of those positions were appointed. What that means is the elected official have to appoint you to the position.
Yeah.
When there's a newly elected official, they have to do the same thing. So I did that for about 10 years. Then after that, I rose to the highest rank that I could, and for me, in government. Now, during this time, I've always had some type of business since I was 19. I just didn't talk about that, but I've always had some type of business on the side while I was doing all of this. So this gets us to about 2008. I run for public office, which I think was fun, good exposure for the family.
Fun for us, for sure. I don't know how stressful it was.
Yeah, it was. And I give a quick little story about that. Just brought a Camry. That white Camry. That white Camry. I was at Hosanna. Remember, had my Isaiah Marshall signs on the side of the car, and your mama wrecked it.
Yes, we were on airline.
Not far from. And she called me and she said, Isaiah, I had a wreck. I said, is everybody okay? As I did ask about that. She said, yes. I said, take my signs from outside that car.
Right now.
Hurry up. Hurry up, get my signs up there. Because you had the media and that. I said, don't want this as a story. Don't want y'all out there.
Yeah.
So I had all of that, and it was probably, it was a bunch of people in the race. I ended up coming in third. I had about 300 votes and missed the runoff from that. So from that, I decided to do my consulting firm full time and ministry. So I did that full time. Then I also served as the chairman for CAT, which was another interesting journey for me, for us as a family. Absolutely. Where I really, that fight for me was me trying to make sure African American workers, one, were being able to keep their jobs. Yeah. Also making sure that the riders who were African Americans would be able to be serviced in a way that they would be able to be serviced, and then also for African American business owners to have a fair opportunity to get business. And so I went against the grain with a lot of people who wanted to see the system go a different way. Yep. And with that fight, Cats was actually going to be bankrupt. Nobody really cared about the system until money came. And that was my whole thing. When I believe in something, I'm going to dig my heels in and fight toots and nails, which I did. And so I received a lot of public scrutiny behind that. Yeah. The family took a hit behind that. It showed me truly who was with me and who was against me, which was few and far in between. Absolutely. But that fight taught me a lot. Even to this day, the people who I fought for, when I run into them, they're truly grateful and thankful for that. Even though it was a huge sacrifice for me personally and for my family as well. But that's just who I am. If I believe in something, I'm gonna fight for it. And if I gotta stand along and fight in it, I'm gonna fight in it. But it did teach me how to fight a little bit more strategically. That makes sense. Yeah. So with that, I had some more fights and things of that nature. But now I fight more of, it's hard to shoot what you can't see. So I might be in a fight, but you don't know. Okay. You know how I move now. Yeah. So I might be in a fight, but you don't know I'm in a fight. You don't know I'm here. You said that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that kind of, so politically, I have a real, political background. So in politics, I've either run for office, I've either managed a campaign, help to raise funds for individuals.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of political relationships on all sides of the aisle, right? Independent, Democrat, Republican. I've helped on all sides. So that kind of was some of my political stuff, right? Then we jump forward to ministry. I was in ministry. Fast forward a little bit to where we are today, being the executive pastor with Lighthouse and still having business, creating Marshall House Studios. I had prostate cancer, and from that, being able to survive it, and having Isaiah Marshall Foundation with being able to educate everybody as it relates to, especially men, about making sure you take care of yourself. And so that's kind of been my journey.
Yes, and I love it. It is a lot to unfold, but it's such a good journey, which is why I wanted you to explain it so that when people go get Unshaken, they can have that background. And if you paid attention to what he just said about moving in the background, this is why I'm so proud of him for even writing a book, for doing Marshall House Studios, for doing Marshall Matters, and for putting our story out there, because he really do be like, I'm back here, I don't need to. And I think it's because of how things have been handled. But me and Mama mentioned to him, and we've had this conversation about, like, and I've noticed it as well, about people try to perceive you as a certain way, and they try to portray you as a certain way, and like with the cat situation and how we were in media. The way we were perceived in media and portrayed in media because of that situation, now the shift has begun, and I wanted to be so intentional with Isaiah Marshall Foundation and with Marshall Matters, with this podcast, with how I'm moving even on the business side and my personal work life, to be able to shift the Marshall name. So yes, I'm Griggs now, but Marshall is still in my name. So as I'm moving through life, I cannot go anywhere that people don't know me as Isaiah and Cotina's daughter. Yeah. So when I'm moving and people see, oh, she's smart, oh, this is how she's moving, it's very intentional, because my whole thing is the Marshall name needs to be shifted from how it was tried to, how the enemy tried to portray it, but that's not what we are. And I love the shift that's around it. And that's why I'm so proud that you did write this book, that you are putting yourself out there more, because the enemy can't win. Like, God has a spotlight on us, and he always has. And that's why I'm so happy. Now,
let me add there, because even though the enemy did try, it's like the Lord erased that. Because most people, I saw somebody just the other day, and they looked at me like, I know you from somewhere. What's your name? I said, Isaiah Marshall. Yeah, that's who how you been? Things of that. Because most people have had positive experiences with me, with us, and things of that nature.
So
regardless. And so that's why you're right. Everything, I make sure the Marshall name is out there, because when we talk about leading with legacy, that has been always one of the things I wanted to do, is make sure that we went before y'all, so when y'all came behind us, the journey would be a little bit more easier for y'all.
And people, when I say people look at me, I don't even be having these people on Facebook, have never seen them a day in my life. They be like, where I know you from? And I always say the same thing. Or they'll say, what's your name? And I say, Jackie Griggs, but my maiden name is Marshall. And they be like, I know your mom and dad. I figured you did. I figured, that's why I went ahead and told you what my maiden name was. They be like, yes, I know your mom and dad. We've been knowing each other for years. And they always it's always great compliments. And tell them I say, hey. And 9 times out of 10, once we walk away from the conversation, I don't be knowing them people. But I encounter it so much, especially in the space I'm working in now, because you were in politics. So, I'm now in health policy. So it's like, I'm coming across people, and I'd be like, yes, that would be, yes. I'm not going to remember your name. I'm so sorry after this conversation, because I probably encountered 3 more people. So but I love that. But I want to ask you, if you wanted somebody to take anything from our conversation, from your book, just the totality of everything, what would you want, if they don't take anything from it, what would you want them to take from it?
Yeah. Where you are right now is not your final destination.
Love that.
Yeah.
And that's easier to say than to know.
Yep. Yeah. It's a temporary place. Mm-hmm. It's only a mile marker on the journey. Yeah. Don't let that situation define who you are.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good, and I think that's a great place to land. And I think that as we land there, I do encourage everyone to reflect on that and knowing that, hey, I'm here right now, but this does not mean this is where I'm going to stay. I still have a plan for my life. I still have a journey, because this is not the end. Yeah. It's a journey. It's a continuous journey. Yeah. So thank you so much, Dad. I want to shout out the book again. Unshaken Lessons from My Journey to Purpose by Isaiah Marshall. Give us some information. Can they pre-order? Can they how? Let's go. Yeah.
So they can pre-order. Actually, when they see this, it will be released.
Oh, yes.
Yes, it'll be released. Yes. So you can go to IsaiahMarshall.org. Mm-hmm. That's IsaiahMarshall.org, and you'll be able to order it from there, and I'll get it shipped to you.
Yes, and we want to encourage y'all too to follow Isaiah Marshall Foundation on Instagram, Facebook, Marshall House Studios, which this is where this airs, on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, so that you can be able to keep up with us, and then you can be able to get some updates about the Unshaken book by Isaiah Marshall.
Apple Podcast as well.
The podcast as well. So y'all, we have a lot coming, and we're excited, and I thank y'all so much for coming. Thank you, Dad, for coming. I love you so much.
I enjoyed it. It was
Proud a great conversation. Thank you. Thank y'all. I will see y'all next time. Bye.